So we are started a new book, and this is objectography, and in which we are studying about the habitat where we live, where we survive. And in the first chapter, in the previous video, we covered about the Earth uh, and solar system mainly, in which we studied about all the planets of the solar system and also the several patterns and the patterns of star. We studied about moon too, and also some, not some, but various type of stars and asteroid, meteoroids, and satellites, human satellites, and about also the moons of different planet, the movement, different type of movement, the movement around sun and the movement on its axis, planets we saw. And finally we saw the our universe, how larger it is. So now today we are going to discuss about the chapter 2, that is uh, globe. Globe is a visual representation of the uh, earth, and we know that the actual shape of the earth, that is not a circular or oval, it is geode. So in chapter 2 we are going to see the latitude and longitude. These are not the actual lines or the real lines on the earth, but they are just imagined one, for the convenience of the several tasks and several measurement on the earth. So I'm going to start. In previous, you have read that our planet Earth is not a sphere. It is slightly flattened at the north and south pole and bulge in the middle. Can you imagine how it looks? You may look at a globe carefully in your classroom to get an idea. Globe is a true model, miniature form of the earth. Globes may be of varying size and type. Big ones which cannot be carried easily, small pocket globes, and globe-like balloons which can be inflated and are handy, handy and carried with the easy. The globe is not fixed. It can be rotated the same way as the top is spin or a pod's wheel is rotated. On the globe, countries, continents, and the oceans are shown in the correct size. It is difficult to describe the location of the point on the sphere like Earth. Now the question arises as to how to locate a place on it. We need certain points of reference and a line to find out the location of places. You will notice that a needle is fixed through the globe in a tilted manner, which is called its axis. The position on which Earth rotates on the straight line is called axis. 2 points on the globe through which the needle passes are two poles, North Poles and South Pole. The globe can be moved around this needle from west to east, just as the earth moves. But remember, there is a major difference. The real earth has no such needle. it moves around its axis, which is an imaginary line. Another imaginary lines running on the globe divide, divides it into two equal parts. This line is known as the equator. The northern half of the earth is known as the northern hemisphere, and the southern half is known as the south hemisphere. They are both equal halfways. Therefore, the equator is an imaginary circular line, and it's uh, and is a very important reference point to the locate place on Earth. All parallel circles from the equator up to the poles is called parallels of the latitudes. Latitudes are measured in degree. The equator represents the 0 degree latitude. Since the distance from the equator to the either of the pole is 1/4 of the circle around the earth, it will measure 1/4 of 360 degree. 90 degree, thus 90 degree north latitude mark the northern pole, and the 90 degree south latitude mark to the southern pole. As such, all parallels north of the equator are called northern latitudes. Similarly, all parallels south of the equator are called south latitudes. The value of each latitude is therefore followed by either the word north or south. Generally, this is indicated by the letter N and S. For example, both Chandrapur in Maharashtra, India, the Belo Horizonte in Brazil, South Africa, are located on parallels of the pa- parallels of about 20 degree latitude, but the former is 20 degree north of the equator and the latter is 20 degrees south of the it, situated at 20 degree north latitude and below horizontal situated at 20 degrees south latitude. We see in the figure 2.2 that as we move away from the equator, the size of the parallels of the latitude decreases. As we go uh, far away from the equator on the both hemispheres, south as well as north as well as south, the size of latitudes are decreasing. So there are there is activity here. Let's do take a big round potato or a ball, reach knitting needle through it and knit resemble the axis, so is the global, and to now move the potato or the ball around this axis from left to right. Simple activity. Do you know, by measuring the angle of the pole stars from your place, you can know the latitude of your place. Fine. Important parallels of latitude. Beside the equator 0 degree, the north pole 90 degree N and the south pole 19 degree S, there are four important parallels of latitude. ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर, कर्क रेखा जिसको बोलते हैं, 130 23.5 degree north is the northern hemisphere. Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, that is called also Makar Rekha in Hindi. That is 23.5 degree in southern hemisphere. And the next one is third, Arctic Circle, that is 66.5 degree north of the equator. And the Antarctic, Arctic, Antarctic. So fourth one is Antarctic Circle, that is 66.5 degrees south of the equator. So you can easily see in this picture. Here is the equator, and above this, in the northern side, you will got Tropic of Cancer on the 23.5 degree of north, and you will got on the same distance in the southern hemisphere Tropic of Capricorn. Then again on half and 66 degree you will got uh, uh, which one, uh, Arctic Circle, uh, Arctic Circle, and below you will got Antarctic Circle, near to the polar region, because on above side Arctic, so you can call Arctic Circle, and below on the southern side on the pole, uh, there is Antarctica, so we call it Antarctic Circle. So now, heat zone of the earth, heat zone. Let's see. The midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on all latitudes in between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Whole year the position of the earth is always between the Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. So if you imagine, this is the earth, this is the equator, this is the Tropic of Cancer, and this is the Tropic of Capricorn. So the whole year the position of sun will always in this region, between these three region, only this mainly, and a little bit heat and light goes to the pole side. That's why on the both the location, on the poles, there is nothing but ice and cold weather, extremely cold weather. So let's see. The midday sun is exactly overhead at least once a year on all latitude in between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. This area therefore receives the maximum heat and is called the Troid zone. This midday sun never shines overhead on many latitudes beyond the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The angle of sun's rays goes on decreasing towards the pole. As such, the areas bounded by the Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctica Circle is the southern hemisphere have moderate temperature. There are therefore called tempera, temperate zone. First one is Troid zone, second one is temperate zone. Now, areas lying between the Arctic Circle and the northern pole in the northern hemisphere and the Antarctic Circle and the southern pole in the southern hemisphere are very cold. It is because here the sun does not rise much above horizon. Therefore, it, it its rays are always slanting and provide less heat. These are therefore called freezed zones, very cold. What are longitudes? To fix the position of a place, it is necessary to know something more than the latitude of the place. You can see, for example, the Tonga Island in the Pacific Ocean and Mauritius Island in the Indian Ocean are situated on the same latitude, 20 degrees south. Now, in the order to locate them precisely, we must find out how far east or west these places are from the given line of reference running from the North Pole to the South Pole. These line of reference are called meridians of meridians of longitude, that we also known, and that is mainly known as Greenwich meridian. And the distance between them are measured in the degree of longitude. Each degree is further divided into minutes and minute into second. They are semicircle and the distance between them decreases steadily polewards until it becomes zero at the poles where all meridian meets. Unlike parallels of the latitude, all meridians are of equal length. Thus, it was difficult to number the meridians. Hence, all countries decide that the counter should begin from a meridian which passes through Greenwich, where the British Royal Observatory is located. This meridian is called prime meridian, and that's why we by using that we calculate the time and we called PM, prime meridian, and AM. Its value is 0 degree longitude, and from its we count 180 degree eastward and will as 180 degree westward. The prime meridian and the 18 degree 118 degree meridian divide the earth into two equal halves, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Therefore, the longitude of the place is followed by the letter E for the east and the W for the west. It is, however, in interesting to note that 180 degree east and the 180 degree west meridians are on the same line. Uh, Now look at the grid of the parallels of the long latitude and meridians of the longitude on the globe, figure 2.6. So these long lines are longitude, and here is a prime meridian that goes through the Greenwich, that is the British Royal Observatory, and from this side there is the western side, this is the eastern side. So India is located from this line towards the east. That's we call the eastern part of the world. Uh, you can locate any point on the globe very easily if you know its latitude and longitude. For example, Dhubri in Assam is situated at 26-degree north latitude and 90-degree east longitude. Find out the point where these two lines cut each other. Hmm. That point will be the location of the Dhubri. To understand this clearly, draw a equidistance vertical and horizontal lines on a paper figure. Label the vertical rows with the number and horizontal rows with the letter. Draw some small circles uh, randomly on the points where these horizontal and vertical lines intersect each other. Name this small circle as A, B, C, D, E, and let vertical lines represent east longitude and the horizontal lines as north latitudes. Now you will see that the circle A is located on B degree north and latitude uh, is and 1 degree eastern longitude. Find out the location of the other circle. So you can imagine how the location of any place is measured and calculated on the earth by using the longitude and the uh, latitude. So it is like a graph. Have you ever made any graphical question in the mathematics? You have to find the coordinate of any point. So the for any point there are two uh, coordinates variables x and y. uh, what is the position of the point from the x-axis and what is the position of that point from the y-axis. By this method, similar, exactly similar, we can find the location of the on the earth for any place or any country, state, city, for any location. Time zone of the world. So here is a different time zone that follow or mainly uh, referred by the Greenwich meridian. Everyone measures its time in the respective to the Greenwich time. Uh, it is considered as zero and or the origin, and by following that, the all time zones in the world are decided. Hmm. Longitude and time. The best means of measuring time is by the movement of the earth, the moon and planets. The sun regularly rise and set every day, and naturally it is the best time keep keeper throughout the world. Local time can be uh, reckoned by the shadow cast by the sun, which is shortest at noon and the longest at the sunrise and the sunset. When the prime meridian of the Greenwich has the sun at the highest point in the sky, all the places along this meridian will have midday or noon. As the earth rotates from western to east, those places east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich time and those of the western will be behind it. The rate of difference can be calculated as follows. The earth rotates 360 in about uh, 24 hours, which means 15 an hour or 1 enough for minute. Thus, when it is 12 noon at Greenwich, the time at the 15 degree east of the Greenwich will be the 15 into 4 in 16 minutes. That is 1 hour ahead of the Greenwich time, which means 1 p.m. but at the 15 degree west of the Greenwich time will be behind Greenwich time by 1 hour. That is, it will be the 11 a.m. Similarly, at the 18 degree, it will be the midnight when it is 12 noon at the Greenwich. At any place, a watch can be adjusted to read 12 o'clock when the sun is at the highest point in the sky. That is when it is midday. The time shows by such a watch will give the local time for the place. You can see that all the places on the given meridian of longitude have the same local time. Why do you have started a standard time? The local time of a place which are on different meridian are bound to differ. For example, it will be the difficult to prepare a timetable for the trains which cross several longitudes in India. For instance, there will be a difference of about 1 hour and um, 45 minutes in the local time of the Dwarka in Gujarat and Dibrugarh in the Assam. It is therefore necessary to adopt the local time of the some central meridian of the country as the standard time for the country in India. The longitude of 82 and half degree eastern is treated as the standard meridian. The local time at this meridian is taken as the standard time for the whole country. It is known as the Indian Standard Time, IST, Indian Standard Time. Uh, Here is the Indian Standard Time that cross from the uh, Uttar Pradesh. Kabir lives in a small town near Bhopal. He tells his friend Alok that they will not be able to sleep tonight. A day and night cricket match between India and England had started at 2 p.m. in London. This means that the match would begin at uh, 7:30 p.m. in India. Finish will be into the night. Do you know what is the time difference between India and England? India located east of the Greenwich at 82.30 degree east. That is the standard time of India. That is 5 hour and 30 minutes ahead of the GMT. So it will be the 7:30 p.m. in India when it is 2 p.m. noon in London. Some countries have a great longitudinal extent, and so they have adopted more than one standard time. For example, in Russia, there are many as 11 standard times. The Earth has been divided into 24 time zones of 1 hour each. Each one thus um, covers 50, 15 degree of longitude. So now we have exercise questions. Answer the following questions. What is the true shape of the Earth? Geode. What is globe? Globe is a representation of the Earth. What is the longitudinal value of the Tropic of Cancer? 23 degree and half north. What are the three heat zone of the Earth? First is what? I forgot that. where is the toroid zone from 0 degree equator to both hemisphere in 23 degree and half, that is called toroid zone. From 23 degree half to 66 degree half, it is called temperate zone, and from 66 degree half to the pole, it is called freezed zone. What are parallel of latitude and meridian of longitude? What are parallels of latitude and meridians of longitude? And I want to understand what are the parallels of latitude. Latitude, Greenwich meridian, and latitude equator, longitude Greenwich meridian, or prime meridian we can say. Why does the toroid zone received maximum amount of heat? Because the position of the sun primarily occurs in this zone for the whole year, so that's why the toroid, TORRID, toroid zone. Why is 5:30 p.m. in India and 12 noon in the London? Due to the movement of the earth on its axis, the position goes to the London afternoon, the India will be the night, and that's why it is 5:30 p.m. in India and 12 noon in the London. This happens, we know that the day and night affects mainly due to the movement of earth on its axis, that cause mainly for the day and night. The main reason for that is same here. The value of the prime meridian is 0 degree, because for each and every country in this world, that is the reference. The priest zone lies near pole. The total number of the longitudes are 360. Oh, that's incorrect. The Antarctic Circle is located in Antarctic, South Hemisphere. Grid is a network of parallel of the latitudes, meridian of the longitude is the tropical Cancer, northern pole and southern pole. Grid, I don't know, I don't got it, this word grid. I don't know, I will search it later. Filling in the blanks. The Tropic of Capricorn is located at Capricorn, 23 and half degree of south. The standard meridian of India is 82 degree and half. 0 degree meridian is also known as prime meridian. The distance between the longitude and decreasing towards the pole. The Arctic Circle is located in the Arctic in the South Hemisphere. That's fine. And in the next chapter In the next day we are going to see the motion of the earth. So this chapter going to be also really interesting, and this is quite a small chapter, so we can cover to the next chapter too at the same day. But the another next chapter we can cover map 2. So that's all I have for today. Thank you very much to all.